Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. It's time for yet another entry into our series on the Cthulhu mythos, this time looking at the brother of Cthulhu, Kthanid. This leader of the Elder Gods is one of the few peaceful creatures in the mythos, said to be as good as his brother is evil. But what if this great benevolent beast was not just a creation of fiction, but actually existed in real life? Let's explore. If you want more What If videos, check out our biggest What Ifs playlist on the channel. Now get ready, it's time to ask the question, what if Kthanid was real? While Kthanid does have a place in the Cthulhu mythos, he was not actually a creation of H.P. Lovecraft himself. He was invented by Brian Lumley, an English writer of horror fiction. He wrote about Kthanid in his novel, The Transition of Titus Crowe. In this story, Titus Crowe is killed, but slowly brought back to life by a robot who recreates him cell by cell as a cyborg. Crowe is later called upon by Kthanid and becomes the great being's champion in the battle against the Great Old Ones. Kthanid looks exactly like his brother Cthulhu in just about every way. The same vaguely anthropoid outline, the same octopus head, the same massive tentacles, the same claws and narrow wings protruding from behind. The only physical difference between them is that while Cthulhu looks fully evil, Kthanid has golden eyes that radiate peace. To be fair, he still looks absolutely terrifying, but those eyes though. In terms of abilities, Kthanid is absurdly powerful, just like his brother. Whether through magic or, as Titus Crowe speculated, through amazing technology, his powers are vast and seemingly endless. Certain abilities have been described, however. For one, he's capable of great thought. I don't mean the kind of great thought you need to have in order to understand Rick and Morty. This refers to Kthanid's ability to project his consciousness anywhere in the cosmos, and to communicate with beings across the universe. He also has the power of prescience. With the help of his viewing monitor, he's able to predict how any action might affect the future, giving him a limited kind of omniscience. Awesome, now we have a handle on Kthanid, so how much would his existence affect us? Well, for the most part, it wouldn't. Since the other Great Old Ones and Elder Gods wouldn't exist, he likely would have no reason to come in contact with us here on Earth, and would simply allow events to unfold naturally. However, it seems that Kthanid cares a great deal about the universe, and wants to keep it safe, as well as free. This seems to be one reason for his battle against the Great Old Ones. This means that even if the Great Old Ones didn't exist, there's a chance that Kthanid would still involve himself in the affairs of the universe. In most cases, Kthanid wouldn't need help. With his prescience, he could predict when a civilization would attempt to take over, and put a stop to them before they gained power. It's even possible that he could use his great thought to show them the error in their ways without violence. However, just because Kthanid is incredibly powerful, that doesn't mean he's omnipotent. In the Titus Crowe series, Kthanid sent Crowe to Earth's dreamland. Since Kthanid himself was unable to go there. In this way, there could be limits to his power, and he might need to depend on others to help him to defeat the invaders. Perhaps they had avoided his detection or had somehow prevented him from becoming directly involved. It's even possible that they possessed certain flaws that could only be exploited by a human. Now, it is of course very unlikely that even if he did exist, and even if a civilization attempted to take over the universe, we would never hear about this. The universe is large and old, and it's highly unlikely that humanity would be capable of dealing with such a threat. However, since this would be a bit of a boring video if I just said nothing would happen, let's have a look at how things might go if we were involved in Kthanid's battle with the universal threat. If this was the case and humanity got involved, it's likely that we would need a bunch of help. If a civilization had the technology to threaten the safety of the universe, our technology would look absolutely primitive next to theirs. For this reason, Kthanid would likely need to empower us to help us win. This could either be by granting humanity special powers, or else providing us with technology that could rival that of the invaders. And if you're picturing the Power Rangers right now, I like your style. Ideally, we would win the war and earn the favor of Kthanid. In this case, it's possible, even likely, that humanity would begin to worship him as a god. Which makes sense because, well, he is. Based on the literature, it's unclear whether or not Kthanid desires followers, but if we had helped him to save the universe, there's a pretty good chance that he'd have our backs. And having a real powerful god on our side who is willing to help us directly would be pretty useful. He could launch our technology thousands of years into the future, allowing humanity to suddenly travel through the stars. We could make use of technologies we couldn't even imagine, with infinite resources and everlasting life. The possibilities are so vast that I couldn't possibly list them all here, but it would be a pretty great time to be a human. And now we return to our question, what if Kthanid was real? Well, there's a very good chance that nothing would change. Kthanid seems perfectly content to allow the universe to unfold naturally, as long as nothing threatens the balance. However, if something threatened the safety and freedom of the universe, there's a chance that Kthanid would step in. And in the unlikely case that he was unable to solve the problem, there's an even smaller chance that he would ask us to help him out, like he did Titus Crowe. And if we helped him save the universe, it could usher in the greatest era of prosperity humanity has ever known, with the help of Big Daddy Kthanid. Thank you for watching Life's Biggest Questions. I hope this was interesting and informative, and maybe even inspired you to look into it further on your own. If you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe to the channel down below. While you're down there, let me know if you would volunteer to be one of Kthanid's Power Rangers. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie with Life's Biggest Questions, wishing you the best of luck on your quest for answers.